Hello and welcome to Sports Around the World. Here are the major headlines. Albert Kome to take charge of all Nigerian clash between Eyimba FC and Rivers United FC in the Confederation Cup. Former Nigerian midfielder Henry Nwosu tasked NFF to deploy technical team to discover talent in local league. Nigerian transfer deadline day deals as transfer window ends in Europe. Chelsea keep Tuchel on his toes. Secure Champions League 4 contract renewal. Nigerian Women Football League to resume February 10th. LeBron James plays down roles with fans during LA Lakers match against Atlanta Hawks. Let's quickly go on the short break. When we come back, we have more sports stories for you. Welcome back. Ghana's Albert Kome Atete will be the match commissioner for the All-Nigerian CAF Confederation Cup clash between Eyimba FC and Rivers United FC. The game will be played on Sunday, February 14th, 2021 in Aba, Abia State in Nigeria. The former GFA Executive Committee member is making a return to Nigeria 2 months after traveling to the West African country for a CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round second leg game between Kano Pillars and ASC Dara from Senegal in November 2020. Here are the full list of officials appointed for the match. Mendy Abid Sheriff, referee Algeria. Nabi Bunwa, assistant referee 1 Algeria. Bundala Umari, assistant referee 2 Algeria. Aderazak Arab, 4th official Algeria. Albert Kome Ayete, match commissioner Ghana. Bonaventure Koda, referee assessor Benin Ozi. Alami Abdurrahman Amis Misi, COVID-19 officer Nigeria. Former Nigerian midfielder Henry Nwosu has called on the Nigerian Football Federation to deploy a technical team that would help in the discovery of quality players from the Nigerian Professional League ahead of the next African Nations Championship. Nwosu, who was sad with the absence of the home-based Super Eagles in the ongoing CHAN tournament, said that the football body must put things in order to ensure that the team qualify for the next edition. He said he's really sad that the home-based Super Eagles are not in the 2021 African Nations Champions in Cameroon, despite the availability of talents that we have in our football league, adding that the fact that he didn't qualify tells you that something is actually not done properly and must be corrected before the next edition. After a compulsory postponement of the 2020-21 Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership matches by 1 month, the chairperson of the NWFL, Aisha Falode, has announced the resumption of league matches on Wednesday, February 10, 2021 in all designated venues across the country. Falode noted that the NWFL season will now resume after all the 14 clubs had complied with the COVID-19 preventive protocols that were established before the commencement of the league on December 9, 2020. She confirmed that all the clubs, players and officials have been tested and results have been submitted to the NWFL Secretariat after thorough verification. Falode disclosed that though there are a number of positive tests from the results, the affected clubs have been instructed to keep these players out of the team camps and replace them with other players who tested negative. Meanwhile, coach of the Nigerian Women's Football League side Nasarawa Amazon, Christopher Danjuma, has stated that he was pleased with the decision of the Nigerian Women Premier League to take a break in order to monitor the authenticity of the COVID-19 compliance tests conducted by teams in the Nigerian Women's Premier League. Danjuma said it's really good to know the league is set to return and that he understands the need to have the COVID-19 tests conducted. He also added that he's set for the task ahead in the course of the campaign that got stopped for a month after just 4 games into the season. Now let's quickly go on a short break. When we come back, we'll give you the rest of the sports stories. Welcome back. Nigerian men's and women national basketball team, the Tigers and the Tigress, will know their Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games opponents on Tuesday today at the draw ceremony scheduled for the Patrick Bowman House of Basketball in Mainz, Switzerland. The Tigers, along with hosts Japan, Australia, Iran, France, Argentina, Spain, and champions USA, all booked their spots in the multi-sport event, while the remaining 4 spots will be filled at the 2020 FIBA Men's Olympic Qualifying Tournament in Victoria, Canada, split Croatia, Kaunas, Lithuania, and Belgrade in Serbia from June 22 to July 4th. The 12 teams in each category have been divided into 4 pots based on the FIBA men and women's world ranking. The Tigers are pot 4 alongside Iran and Japan, while USA, Spain, and Australia are in pot 1. The Tigress, Canada, Puerto Rico, USA, China, Japan, and Korea have all qualified for the women's event. Others are Belgium, France, Serbia, Spain, and Australia, African champions. The Tigress are in pot 4 with Korea and Puerto Rico. Nigeria is the only African team that is qualified for the basketball event of the Tokyo Olympic in the men and women's category. LeBron James says an argument between himself and fans during the Los Angeles Lakers 107-99 win over the Atlanta Hawks was blown out of proportion and they did not deserve to be ejected. 2 women helped James after he had exchanged heated words with a man they sat with and were thrown out. There were about 1,300 fans at the Hawks State Farm Arena. James said, "I'm happy fans are back. I need that interaction and I don't feel they deserve to be kicked out," explaining what had gone on in the incident that caused the game to be paused in the 4th quarter. James added there was a back and forth between 2 grown men. He said his piece, I said my piece. One of the women had removed her face mask to shout at James in a move condemned by Lakers head coach Frank Vogel. James scored 21 points, including the defensive final 9 for his side, and added 7 rebounds and 9 assists in the win over the Hawks, with Anthony Davis top scoring for the Lakers with 25. It means the Lakers return to LA with a record of 5 wins and 2 defeats from their longest scheduled road trip of the NBA season. Hot in the heels of the Los Angeles Clippers and the Utah Jazz at the top of the Western Conference. Plans to build a new Formula One circuit in the Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro have been abandoned. The project to be built on a former army base have been criticized by environmentalists as it requires the filling of a patch of native forest. World champion Lewis Hamilton had also indicated his position to the track. Rio Environmentalist Secretary Eduardo Cavallari said they were officially giving up on the construction of Rio International Circuit. The circuit was to have been built in the Camboto forest in the Deodoro Arena of the city. It had been backed by Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro and had secured a contract with Formula One. However, when opposition to the project became clear, Formula One subsequently agreed to a deal to keep the Brazilian Grand Prix at the Interlagos circuit in Sao Paulo, which has hosted the race since 1990. World number 2, Rafael Nadal, pulled out of Spain opening ATP Cup tie against Australia Tuesday, complaining of a stiff lower back. The 20-time Grand Slam champion was due to take the court against Australia top-ranked player Alex de Minaur, but opted to rest instead as he prepares for the Australian Open next week. He tweeted, "We have decided with Team Spain and my team to not play today the first match of the ATP Cup here in Melbourne since I have a stiff low back." Nadal added that he hoped to have recovered by Thursday when Spain meets Greece. Let's quickly go on the short break. When we come back, we have more sports stories for you. Welcome back. Three-time league giants and European champion Bayern Munich are part of the sweepstakes for talented Nigerian eligible midfielder Kani Chukwuemeka. According to the Times UK, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool and Bayern Munich are keeping tabs on the 17-year-old with a view to a swoop in the near future. Chukwuemeka is widely regarded as the best 17-year-old in the Villa Academy and was in contention to make his professional debut against Liverpool in the third round of the Emirates FA Cup, but was omitted from the roster because he was part of the group that went into isolation following a COVID-19 outbreak, as he had been training with the first team. Aston Villa chief executive Christian Postlo once described him as the best 16-year-old in the whole of England last year. Last October, the Anglo-Nigerian starlet signed for first professional contract with Aston Villa, but the Birmingham-based club are based for offers given his progression over the last few seasons. This season, Chukwuemeka has played 14 games for Aston Villa youth teams, scoring against Reading in the FA Youth Cup. Former Nigerian footballer Jonathan Akpobore has blamed UNICEF for the scandal that has tainted his image, ruined his maritime business, and the eventual fallout with his then German Bundesliga club Wolfsburg. Akpobore made the revision today. It would be recalled that Akpobore ventured into the maritime industry during his playing days and, together with his family, ran a shipping agency with two Nigerian registered ships named MV Atienu and Xmas Day. Jonathan Akpobore bought both ships from Denmark in 1998, and each of them worth more than $500,000, according to reports. However, things took a dramatic turn in April 2001 when the United Nations Children's Agency said Akpobore MV Antero was used to move up to 250 children slaves from Benin to Gabon as an accusation. An accusation the former goal poacher strongly denies till date. Akpobore claimed UNICEF jumped on a false report from mischievous people without making proper investigations, and that was how his troubles began. Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel will have to face some conditions to renew his 18-month contract with the club. The coach has been informed that he could only get an extension on his contract if he hits certain performance targets. The Daily Mail has revealed Tuchel has signed in a very incentivized deal. He will have to trigger certain clauses, including keeping Chelsea in the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. The Blue have drawn 0-0 with Wolves and beaten Burnley 2-0 in Tuchel's first 2 games in charge. Now they will take on Tottenham in a London derby on Thursday. German will be hoping to secure a top 4 spot this term and then build on that platform to challenge for the league title next season. Meanwhile, Barcelona presidential candidate Joan Laporta has urged the fans not only look further as Xavi is not ready to take over Ronald Koeman's job. The former Barca captain is in his second season as coach of Al Sadd in Qatar and turned down the job this time last year. Laporta said, "My relationship with Xavi the machine is very good. We call each other frequently." All right, that's the much we can take today on Sport Around the World. Do have yourself a wonderful evening.